My first commission check was $8,000. And I was like, honey, we're rich. Like, this is it. This is going to be my monthly check every single month. Little did I know the ups and downs of commission sales and door-to-door sales. It doesn't really work like that. I made some stupid financial decisions at that time, bought a brand new car and bought a bunch of furniture, just thinking like, this is our cash flow every month now. That's how I got started, from moving from criminal justice. Didn't get a job in a jail, or they weren't hiring at the time. This was in 2008. So there's a huge downturn in the economy. Police and sheriff's departments were not hiring in California at the time. So I had to find a job, and they're always hiring in door-to-door sales. I will tell you that. If you're looking for a job right now, go find a door-to-door sales company and they'll hire you.
Like when I get asked by young people, like, what should I do, like coming out of college, or what should I learn? I always say, learn a little bit about sales, because it's the best training. It's the best foundation for anything, for literally anything.
Yeah. It's like how to bring somebody to a decision, and you're going to have to bring people to a decision, no matter what you do. As a parent, you're constantly bringing your kids to a decision. I'm two-choice closing my kids every day, all day long on everything.
As a serial entrepreneur, I'm always trying to evolve. Having great conversations with other high performers is one of the best ways to grow, not only in business, but also in spirit, health, and relationships. This is Svencast. Listen, grow, repeat. We're live with David McMenomey. Was that correct? McMenomey.
Nailed it.
McMenomey.
Right on the head.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you. Yeah, you got to bear with me, because, I'm a German, so it's not very easy for me all the time to say everything the correct way. So, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, you're a performance marketing manager at Digistore24, my company, which is an online reseller and an affiliate marketing platform, and with an affiliate network. You used to run a company named Dad Strong. You have wide experience in marketing and performance marketing professionally, but you did have some challenges in your, let's say, personal life that I would like to know a little bit more about. And you do have a college education in criminal justice. Is that correct?
That's right.
How did you get from criminal justice to marketing?
So, like most young men, at least in the United States, I wanted to do what my father did. And my dad he worked for the sheriff's department. He was a sheriff's deputy for about 30 years. And again, any young college student, I had no clue what I really wanted to do. I didn't even really know who I was when I went to college. Mm-hmm. So I just did what most lazy kids do and try to take the path of least resistance. I saw it as interesting in some way. I took a couple of lower level in my first year or two of college, some prerequisite classes for criminal justice, because I like criminology. I like the psychology behind crime. I was pretty argumentative, so I was told I'd be a good lawyer, and so I thought maybe that'll be the path that I take. And so anyways, I just took the prerequisites to do that. I eventually found out to get a criminal justice degree, it's not super difficult, and was able to get through all of college really fast. And not really fast, but 4 years, right? Like most people try to. But by the time I got out of college, I had met a girl, and I had to make some money because we were getting married soon. I didn't have a job yet. So I had applied to work at a jail. Maybe I'll just be a prison guard or something like that. But you have to know, I was 21 years old, no life experience, pretty scrawny at the time. I was wrestling and cutting weight, and just not a large stature human being with a lot of life experience. So I passed the physical exam and all that kind of stuff, but they're like, yeah, go grow up, kid. Get 10 years under your belt before you come back and be a prison guard. You'll get eaten alive in here. So in trying to figure out how am I going to make some money, and I'm getting married in 2 months, I went and I found a job, and the first job that I found was door-to-door sales in the Silicon Valley, selling internet and phone lines to small businesses. And I went out and knocked on doors, hit 50 doors a day, and met business owners and brought contracts and closed them on why they need to switch over all their telecommunication services. So I really was just kind of pushed into it. I did super well. I was the top sales rep in the nation for them within 2 months. Won all their company trips, and my first paycheck, I remember it was 2008 in December. So right around this time, I just got a new apartment, and my first commission check was $8,000. And I was like, honey, we're rich. Like, this is it. This is going to be my monthly check every single month. Little did I know the ups and downs of commission sales and door-to-door sales. It doesn't really work like that. So I made some stupid financial decisions at that time, bought a brand new car and bought a bunch of furniture, just thinking like, this is our cash flow every month now. My wife's like, okay, she's 20 years old. So anyways, that's how I got started, from moving from criminal justice. Didn't get a job in a jail, or they weren't hiring at the time. This was in 2008. So there's a huge downturn in the economy. Police and sheriff's departments were not hiring in California at the time. So I had to find a job, and they're always hiring in door-to-door sales. I will tell you that. If you're looking for a job right now, go find a door-to-door sales company and they'll hire you.
Usually it's not easy for people to sell door-to-door, and you being like the best nationwide, like from the very beginning, how did you do that?
They had a really amazing training program. They flew in a bunch of people and they put us through like a 2-week training program. But I was just a really good student. I did everything they said. And I don't know. There's some things that I truly believe that you're gifted in. Like when you're born, you're given certain gifts. I don't necessarily ascribe to the John Locke tabula rasa, like you are just a blank slate when you're born and then the world puts everything on you as you get going. I think there are certain things that you might have a knack for. And I didn't know that I had that knack to talk to people, and that when the pressure was on and I got in front of a gatekeeper, I got in front of a decision maker, I could talk to them in a way that broke down walls and instantly would either get them to laugh within 8 seconds, or I would get them to not be happy with me within 8 seconds and have to leave. But I was able to make that happen within a short amount of time, and it just activated in me. I wouldn't say, I don't know. I never studied any of it other than the little 2-week training session they had us go on. But I just had a knack to talk to people, I guess.
So you obviously did not stay in sales. You switched over to marketing. So how did that happen?
I got sick of sales. Anybody who hits hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doors and faces the rejection that you face in that. I was in it for 2 years, door-to-door sales. Most people stay in it for 3 months. So yeah, 3 months was the average, and that was actually kind of long. But I stayed in it for a long time because the money was good. And I got sick of it, and internet marketing was coming up. It was obviously growing around that time. It was like 2010 is when a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, my family has this home care business, and we take care of the elderly in Hawaii. I'd love to bring that over to the into the mainland in California. Would you help me, because you're really good at sales? Would you help me build up this company?" So being whatever I was, 23, 24 years old at the time, I was actually about to turn 25. I was like, yeah, I'm a CEO. This is the Silicon Valley. I can be a CEO. I can do this. So the two of us rented an office, and I started doing door to door with that as well, and it was painful. So I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And when I started to learn about internet marketing, that you can reach a large amount of people and actually have them come to you, I was like, you have to be kidding me. That's a thing? Like, you can actually have inbound leads flooding you and people calling you that want your service. So I dove headfirst into that. I studied an internet marketer. His name's Jeff Usner, and he eventually hired me. to go work for him. But I bought his tapes. I watched his DVDs. Like I was all in on this thing and learned how to generate leads. And I was generating at that time about 100 a week of people who needed home care. I had no idea that that was actually phenomenal and that I could resell those leads to other people. But you know, you grow and learn. So yeah, I was the long and short of it is I got sick of door to door and I wanted people coming to me. So that's why I got into marketing.
That totally makes sense. However, it's a very good training. If you go door to door and talk to people in real life, then you learn about their reactions. You learn about the submodalities in NLP language. So the little things like how people, the tonality and the facial expressions, etc. So you learn, so you get a lot of, let's say, you get an intuition about people. And if you create automated sales process or marketing processes, you already, kind of know how they are going to react. And at least in your imagination, and that gives you a very good foundation for creating anything automated. And this is also what I advise most of the people. Like when I get asked by young people, like, what should I do? Like coming out of college or school, what should I learn? I always say, learn a little bit about sales because it's the best training. It's the best foundation for anything, for literally anything. So with that background, this is like what you need. So you got the best training in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the company did a good job.
Yeah, it's like how to bring somebody to a decision, and you're going to have to bring people to a decision, no matter what you do. And we'll talk about it probably a little bit later. Is like as a parent, you're constantly bringing your kids to a decision. I'm two choice closing my kids every day, all day long on everything.
Really?
Yeah, all day. It's just the constant two choice close. Are you going to do this or this? And either one that they choose, I win because they're doing something that I need them to do. Are you going to eat this cereal or this cereal? I'm not even asking them, are you hungry to eat breakfast this morning?
Okay.
Are you eating Captain Crunch or are you eating Lucky Charms? There's no choice to not do it. It's one of the two. And they, you funnel their brain into, I have to choose between these two things, right? We do the same thing at checkout when somebody's, in their shopping cart. Do you want to have the 3 bottle or the 5 bottle? There's no bottle option, right? You're making them choose. And then you get to an upsell. Do you want this or this? And you're constantly just narrowing their mind into, here's the only options for you. So anyways, I do that with my kids all day long, and you bring people to a decision. It's a very valuable thing, whether you're an attorney, whether you're a janitor, whether you're whatever it is, you need that kind of a skill set for sure.
How did you, get the idea to approach parenting in that way to sell your kids stuff? Because usually, not being a parent, I would think, okay, I just give the commands. I would just order the kids to do this or that. At least that was how I was brought up. How did you discover the leading by sales approach?
Probably from a lady named Danny Johnson. I did a lot of marketing training and sales training. I went to probably 50 of her seminars. And she talked a lot. She was really good direct marketing, sales, but she would talk about parenting as well. Like, parenting is sales. Do you want vegetables or do you want, whatever it is? Like, you're going to choose, and I'm going to have to position this. I'm going to have to frame your mind to choose the thing that I want you to choose that's best for you. Not just, totalitarian. You're doing this and there's no other option, or you're getting a beating, and that's how I was raised. Right.
Me too.
It was not necessarily a beating, but it was like severe disappointment and possibly a beating. These decisions.
That look from your dad,
Yes, that stern look. Like, oh, okay, sorry. You're disappointing your mother if you don't do this. And like, okay. So like that kind of stuff. I didn't really want to get into emotional manipulation with my kids, and I'm not putting that on any parent that's what they do. A lot of times it's just our default. Like, on the playground, you're going to give me that toy, or I'm going to hit you over the head with it. Give it to me now, or violence. And when you're parenting and you realize every kid's very different, every personality is extraordinarily different. If you can find what motivates that son or daughter, like my daughter, she's 5. she is as competitive as I am. I'm a very competitive person. And through a lot of personal development training, I have coded that with being more civil in society. She's not there yet.
Okay.
So she, all I have to do is say, all right, who's going to get upstairs first? You know, the big war starts in our family when it's time to brush your teeth, get ready for bed, and, you know, hop into bed. So usually there's a lot of dilly-dallying and wasting time. So I will just immediately throw out a challenge. I'll make it a competition immediately. That's her hot button, and she's off like a rocket. Okay, who's going to get to the top of the stairs first? And I'll create little competitions along the way. She'll drop everything she's doing, and because she wants to win, and she'll run up there. And if her brother knocks her legs out from underneath her, she cries foul and he cheated. You know, she's like, yeah, take it. We know it's coming, but it changes them into like, okay, I got to do this task in front of me because I have to win. So anyways, yeah, that motivates her. I haven't found what motivates my son yet. Actually, he's 8. He's not like me in terms of competition. So, well, I'm still praying and trying to figure that one out.
Maybe you can find out what does not motivate him or what repels him, like what he wants to avoid. Maybe that could be a hint.
Pressure does not motivate him. Some people rise to the occasion, and some people fold like a deck of cards, or like a house of cards. He folds. So, I mean, he's really good at athletics and stuff, like physically competent and everything, but he's just not competitive. So it's very interesting to me. It's like, I don't understand. How can you be programmed without competition? I don't understand.
Yeah.
For us who, you know, want to push in business and a lot of entrepreneurs are very competitive. It's, you know, the best ones are competitive against themselves. So I just don't understand it.
I think being competitive against yourself is the same way, because if you compare yourself to anything or anyone else, you always lose. Like, you know, when I look at myself being this entrepreneur and, you know, my companies are growing worldwide and it's very nice, but still there's, you know, I live in Switzerland, so there's so many people I know who are so far more successful and bigger in the business sense. So being too competitive would actually hurt me, because that would just be painful. But if so I'm trying to, let's say, focus my competitiveness against myself. Like, you know, I'm trying to put myself up against me yesterday or so, and then it's kind of okay-ish. And I'm happy about small wins. And this is how I try to trick myself into being happy, because it's so easy to, you know, once you have something, the grass is always greener on the other side. This is also like something that's crazy. Like, no matter what car you buy, there's always something new and shinier and never stops. It's crazy. So I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of people with money are unhappy. Yeah. Because you cannot, I mean, you can't, let's say, move away things that are painful with money. You know, if you can hire an assistant, or, you know, have someone do the dishes, or, you know, cleaning your house, etc. If you don't like it, but at the same time, the stuff you buy, so you're like, when you have less money, then everything is kind of like, you blend out. I don't know the correct English word, but you're not looking at things that are shiny nice. But if you're, for example, if you're rich, then you could buy anything. Mm-hmm. And so you have far more choices, far more possible choices, and that can drive you crazy as well. And if you use those things you can buy to compare yourself against anyone else, and we are all brought up doing that nowadays, especially, let's say, Generation Z, where we're all on Instagram and all trying to look cooler as the other guy, you know, like if I would try to look as cool as, for example, Dan Bilzerian, like that wouldn't even be possible. I couldn't, because I have to work, you know. So, and for girls as well. I mean, imagine like they're looking at, let's say model type girls in bikinis, like everywhere. And like the internet and Instagram especially is full of that. And if you compare yourself against them with them, then you're just going crazy. I think our society is set up for being a very crazy generation, a very mentally ill generation, because this experiment, this is very new. This hasn't been done before, and it's an experiment. And of course, I don't want to know how they, like the people who are 15 or 13 right now, I don't want to know, but probably I'm going to know it a little bit later, what they look like when they're 50. They're so messed up, in my opinion. And I'm so thankful not being brought up like that.
I think we have two things going on just from my studying of this and just observing of it. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in any way on this, but I think we live in a society that is so marketing crazy, and there is constant marketing, and there's a billboard in front of us every single day with a screen that has a certain type of technology that accesses parts of your brain and shuts other parts of your brain off to program you. And that's not conspiracy. That is literally just science. If you look into frequency, flicker rates, if you look into programming and brainwashing, it's all there and it's all designed. And that, like, just let that sink in for a minute. If I am being programmed to walk by my phone and feel an urge to pick it up, if I'm programmed to continue to scroll and to continue to go down a feed, why? And what would I be like if I wasn't programmed to do it? So anyways, that's like a side note, but that's what freaks me out, especially with my kids. I don't want anybody controlling my kids. I don't want to control my kids, but I don't want anybody controlling my kids, right? So we live in this marketing society. And again, this is just opinion, but marketing, the core basis of marketing and what makes really good marketers exceptional is the one that can create an environment where you're looking at the material and you feel like in my core being, I am not enough unless I make this transaction. That I am not sufficient, I am not whole, and then this thing is positioned in such a way that I will get a little bit closer to wholeness, to scratch that itch that they just created for me in their copy or in their imagery. And then now I have to have it. Whether I turn the phone off, now it's in my head. That new Maserati, I've got to have it. I don't know why. It's just got, and you're whatever it is, maybe it's a new toaster oven. It doesn't matter. Yeah. The scale of it. And like you're talking about with wealth, all of a sudden you get wealthy and it's like, well, now there's no boundaries to the decisions I can make. I can go anywhere, right? I can buy anything I want. Not even time's a constraint anymore because I can hire people to do the menial tasks that I don't want to do anymore. So now I can just spend, and now you're a little bit deeper into that rabbit hole. But I think it starts with that core of I'm not good enough. And as you're talking about like competing against yourself, and that's the healthy way, I think it is the healthy way. Because if you're constantly looking at your neighbor to figure out whether you're whole or complete in some way, it's a moving target. That guy's doing the same thing with somebody else. So why are we worshiping them? There's got to be a constant somewhere. And, if you've read any of blogs or seen any of the podcasts and stuff that I've done, I have a constant in my life. That's Jesus, right? And we're not going to get into religion stuff here, but that's my core, and that centers me. If this thing that I'm desiring is outside of who he's made me to be, and I know that through my relationship with him, it's a no-go. I know it'll lead to something that's just like a slippery slope that I'll never quite be able to get my hands wrapped around. It's always a moving target. It's always like, and when I was a kid, you chased at the rodeo, we would chase a greased pig. Like, I know, total hillbilly redneck. I grew up in a very podunk small town, and that was our entertainment, was rodeos. So as kids, they would grease up a pig and they'd send him out in the middle of the arena, and all the little kids would run around in their cowboy boots and try to chase it. And that's what it feels like when greed sets in a little bit and you have to have more. You have to have more, and you can't stop. So anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be something that centers you, like a plumb line that brings you back. And whether that's whatever that is for you, for me, I know what it is. It's Jesus in my life. But there's got to be something there, or else you're going to go crazy, right? Like you're seeing with these teen girls. There's always another body type. There's always another fad diet. There's always another something that will try to tell them that they're beautiful, that they're desired, and somebody wants to be there to protect and to love them. But if society throws out all the rules, like, hey, you know what? Anything goes. Whatever you want. Anything goes. It goes to total chaos, right? There has to be some kind of constructs around there to help protect that mind at that age, you know?
In the following episode of Svencast.
So I know every day when I start out, I am already whole. When I look into the face of Jesus, when I talk to him, when I get to know him through his word, through the Bible, I know that I'm already made complete, and that he is the thing that gives me the source of life. That all these other things are not a source of life.
As far as I know, you did have some challenges in your life. So there was an incident where your former boss tried to sue you. What was that about? If you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode of Svencast again.